Listen, right now, as you're watching this, there's a walnut-sized gland sitting deep inside your body that's deciding whether you'll sleep through the night or stumble to the bathroom 4 times in the dark, whether you'll stand at a urinal for 2 minutes waiting for a weak trickle, or finish in 10 seconds and walk away with confidence, whether you'll feel like a man in the bedroom, or wonder if that part of your life is just over. I'm talking about your prostate, and what I'm about to tell you is going to make some doctors very uncomfortable, because there's protocol using 3 specific foods that can start reversing prostate inflammation faster than most prescriptions, and the pharmaceutical industry has zero interest in you knowing about it. My name is Dr. Charles Bennett. I spent 32 years as a urologist specializing in men over 60, and I've watched the system fail men over and over again. But 5 years ago, I discovered something that changed everything. Because what I found doesn't make pharmaceutical companies money. It doesn't require surgery. And it works so well that 3 of my former colleagues stopped speaking to me when I started teaching it. Here's what nobody tells you when you turn 50. That pressure in your lower belly? That's not normal aging. Waking up 3, 4, 5 times every night? That's not just what happens. Yours, that weak stream that stops and starts, leaving you feeling like you didn't fully empty? That's not something you just learn to live with. That's your prostate screaming for help. And every single one of those symptoms is a red flag that inflammation is destroying that gland from the inside out. I had a patient named Michael, 64 years old, successful architect, but he came into my office looking like a broken man. He told me he'd started avoiding business trips because he couldn't trust his bladder. He'd stopped going to his grandson's baseball games because he needed a bathroom every 30 minutes. His wife slept in the guest room because he'd wake her up 5 times every night. "Doc," he said, "I feel like I'm not even a man anymore. I'm just a guy who pees all the time." And here's the thing that made me angry. He'd been to 4 different urologists. Every single one prescribed pills, alpha blockers, 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, even hormone therapy. And none of it worked. Not really. Because none of them addressed the root cause. The root cause isn't your age, it's not genetics, it's not bad luck. The root cause is chronic inflammation. And 83% of enlarged prostates that I examined over 3 decades showed one thing in common: massive inflammatory markers. Let me explain what's really happening inside your body right now. Your prostate is like a sponge wrapped around a tube. When it's healthy, it's soft, flexible, about the size of a walnut. Urine flows through that tube freely. But when inflammation attacks, that sponge swells. It gets hard. It starts choking that tube shut. Think about it like this. Imagine someone squeezing a garden hose while water's trying to get through. That's exactly what's happening when you stand there for 90 seconds waiting for your stream to start. That's why it's weak. That's why it stops and starts. That's why you never feel fully empty. But here's what shocked me after 32 years in medicine. The inflammation isn't random. It's not inevitable. It's caused by something specific: oxidative stress and free radical damage that builds up year after year because your body isn't getting the specific nutrients it needs to fight back. And pharmaceutical companies know this. They know it. But there's no money in telling you to eat specific foods. A prescription makes them $400 a month. A kiwi costs 50 cents. Now, I'm not saying medication doesn't have its place. I prescribed thousands of them. But what I learned over 3 decades is that the body has an incredible ability to heal itself when you give it the right tools. And sometimes those tools are sitting in your kitchen right now. But before I show you exactly what those tools are, I need to expose something that's going to make you angry. Because once you understand how the system is designed to keep you dependent, you'll never look at your doctor's office the same way again. Here's what happened to me in 2019 that changed everything. I had been practicing for 27 years at that point, respected in my field, published researcher. And I started noticing a pattern that disturbed me deeply. Every pharmaceutical rep that walked into my office had the same playbook. New prostate medication. Better than the last one. Fewer side effects, they claimed. And they'd wine and dine us at conferences, show us cherry-picked studies, offer consulting fees if we prescribed their drugs. But I started tracking my own patients independently. And you know what I found? The success rate they advertised, 60 to 70% improvement. That wasn't real-world results. In my practice, I was seeing maybe 30 to 40% of men get meaningful relief, and almost all of them had side effects: dizziness, sexual dysfunction, fatigue. One day, I had 3 patients in a row, all on the newest prostate medication, all complaining about the same thing. They felt worse than before they started. One of them, a 66-year-old named Thomas, looked me dead in the eye and said, "Doc, I came here for help, but I feel like I'm being experimented on." That night, I went home and couldn't sleep, because he was right. I had become part of a system that prioritized profit over actual healing. And I made a decision that would cost me everything. I started researching alternatives. Not supplements marketed for prostate health. Those are often just as much of a scam. I went back to basic nutritional science, peer-reviewed studies, traditional medicine practices from cultures where prostate problems are significantly lower. And that's when I discovered what I'm about to share with you. 3 specific foods that had clinical evidence, real evidence, showing they could reduce prostate inflammation as effectively as medication, but without any of the side effects. I started testing this with my patients, quietly at first, the ones who were desperate and willing to try anything. And the results were so consistent, so undeniable, that I couldn't keep quiet anymore. I presented my findings at a urology conference in 2020, and that's when everything fell apart. 3 pharmaceutical representatives approached me after my talk, not to congratulate me, to threaten me. They said if I continued promoting this protocol, they'd make sure I was discredited in the medical community. 2 months later, I was asked to leave the practice I'd been with for 15 years. No explanation given. Just, we're going in a different direction. That's when I knew I'd hit a nerve. Because when the system tries to silence you, it means you're telling the truth they don't want people to hear. So I went independent, started my own practice, and focused exclusively on helping men reverse prostate problems naturally. And in 5 years, I've helped over 2,400 men avoid surgery, reduce or eliminate their medications, and reclaim their quality of life. Now, am I saying there's a massive conspiracy? No. Most doctors genuinely want to help, but the system they work within is designed around pharmaceutical solutions because that's where the money is. Insurance companies reimburse for pills and procedures, not for nutritional counseling. But you don't have to play by those rules. You can take control right now. And it starts with understanding exactly what these 3 foods do and why they work. I'm going to share 3 foods with you, but before I do, I need you to understand something critical. These aren't healthy foods. These are targeted anti-inflammatory weapons that specifically reduce prostate swelling and restore function. The first one is kiwi, and I know what you're thinking. Kiwi? Really? But listen to this. Kiwi contains the highest concentration of vitamin C per ounce of almost any fruit on Earth. And vitamin C doesn't just boost your immune system, it's a powerful anti-inflammatory that directly neutralizes the free radicals attacking your prostate cells right now. It reduces swelling at the cellular level. I had a patient, Robert, 71 years old, waking up 6 times every night, exhausted, depressed. I told him to eat 2 kiwis every morning with breakfast. That's it. 2 kiwis. He looked at me like I was insane. 3 weeks later, he called me at 7 a.m. Dr. Bennett, I slept through the entire night. I didn't wake up once. Not once. I forgot what that felt like. But here's the secret most people miss. Kiwi also contains powerful enzymes and fiber that improve gut health. And your gut health directly affects inflammation throughout your entire body, including your prostate. When your gut is healthy, inflammation drops everywhere. The second food is cooked tomatoes. And this is where it gets really interesting. Raw tomatoes are good, but cooked tomatoes are medicinal. Because when you heat a tomato, something incredible happens. The lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that specifically protects prostate tissue, becomes up to 400% more bioavailable, 4 times more absorbable. And lycopene doesn't just reduce inflammation. Studies show it can actually shrink enlarged prostate tissue. I'm talking measurable reduction in size on ultrasounds. I had a patient named Vincent, 68 years old. His prostate was so swollen he needed a catheter. He was scheduled for surgery in 6 weeks. I said, "Vincent, before you go under the knife, try something for me. Every single day, eat a bowl of tomato soup or marinara sauce. Real tomatoes, cooked down with a little olive oil." He agreed, and 8 weeks later, when we did the follow-up ultrasound, the surgical team couldn't believe it. His prostate had shrunk 23%. 23%. No surgery needed. The third food is pomegranate, and this one works differently than the other 2. Pomegranate contains compounds called elagitannins and punicolagens. These are polyphenols that don't just fight inflammation. They actually regulate the hormones that cause prostate growth in the first place. Specifically, they help balance testosterone and DHT, the hormone responsible for benign prostatic hyperplasia. One of my patients, Gerald, was 73. His PSA levels were climbing. His prostate was huge. He was scared. I told him to drink half a cup of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice every morning. 12 weeks later, his PSA had dropped by 30%. His nighttime urination went from 5 times to once. And he told me something I'll never forget. He said, "Doc, I feel like someone turned the lights back on inside me." Now, here's what makes these 3 foods so powerful when you combine them. Kiwi fights inflammation. Tomatoes shrink tissue. Pomegranate regulates hormones. Together, they create a synergistic effect that targets prostate health from 3 different angles simultaneously. But let me give you the science behind why this works so dramatically. Because understanding the mechanism will help you trust the process. Your prostate cells have receptors. Think of them like locks. And lycopene, the compound in tomatoes, has a key that fits perfectly into those locks. When lycopene binds to those receptors, it signals the cell to stop growing. It tells inflamed tissue to calm down. It's not magic, it's molecular biology. The vitamin C in kiwi does something equally powerful. It donates electrons to neutralize free radicals, the unstable molecules that damage your prostate cells and trigger inflammation. Every kiwi you eat is like sending in a cleanup crew to repair the damage that's been building up for years. And pomegranate? The elagitannins in pomegranate get converted by your gut bacteria into a compound called urolithin A. And urolithin A has been shown in multiple studies to reduce the conversion of testosterone into DHT, the hormone that literally makes your prostate grow larger. So when you combine these 3 foods, you're not just eating healthy. You're conducting a targeted nutritional intervention. You're giving your body the exact molecules it needs to reverse the damage. Now, there's something else I need to tell you. Something that's going to sound too good to be true, but I've seen it hundreds of times. When men follow this protocol correctly, they often experience something unexpected. Their energy increases, their mood improves, and yes, their libido and erectile function often improve as well. Why? Because the same inflammation attacking your prostate is also affecting blood flow throughout your entire pelvic region. When you reduce that inflammation, circulation improves everywhere. More blood flow means better function, period. I had a patient named Richard, 70 years old. Hadn't had morning erections in 8 years. Thought that part of his life was over. After 45 days on this protocol, he called me, almost embarrassed, to tell me they'd come back. "Doc," he said, "I didn't even think that was possible anymore. I thought I was done." I told him what I'm telling you. Your body wants to work correctly. It wants to heal. You've just been giving it the wrong tools, or no tools at all. The moment you give it what it actually needs, it responds. Now, here's something critical that most people get wrong. Consistency matters more than perfection. I've had patients who were religious about this for 25 days, saw incredible results, then stopped because they thought they were cured. And within 3 weeks, the symptoms came back. Your prostate didn't get inflamed overnight. It took years, maybe decades. So while you can feel improvements quickly, the healing process is ongoing. You need to make these foods a permanent part of your life, not just a temporary fix. So here's the protocol, and I want you to follow this exactly. For the next 72 hours, this is your mission. Every single morning, eat 2 kiwis with breakfast. Every single lunch or dinner, have a serving of cooked tomatoes, whether it's sauce, soup, or paste. Add a tablespoon of olive oil to help absorption. And every afternoon, drink half a cup of pure pomegranate juice. No sugar added. Pure juice. That's it. 72 hours, 3 days. Now, I know what you're thinking. 3 days? That's not enough time. But here's what I discovered over years of testing this protocol. Within 72 hours, most men notice a difference. The urgency decreases. The pressure eases. You might sleep through the night for the first time in months. And if you continue this for 30 days, the changes become undeniable. Prostate size measurably decreases. Urine flow improves. Energy returns. And that confidence, that feeling of being in control of your own body, comes back. But here's the part that's going to blow your mind. After 30 days, you don't have to be as strict. You've reset your inflammation levels. You've given your prostate the tools it needed to heal. Now, you just maintain it. Kiwis a few times a week. Tomatoes regularly in your diet. Pomegranate juice when you remember. Let me tell you about 3 men who changed my entire perspective on this. First, there's David, 69 years old, retired firefighter, tough guy, never complained about anything. But when he came to see me, he broke down. He told me he'd been wearing pads because of dribbling. He couldn't control it anymore. He felt humiliated. His wife didn't know. He was hiding it from her, changing in the bathroom, throwing the pads away in gas station trash cans so she wouldn't see them in the garbage at home. He said, "Dr. Bennett, I saved people from burning buildings, and now I can't even control my own bladder." I put him on the protocol, strict, 30 days, no exceptions. When he came back, he walked into my office differently, shoulders back, head up. He said, "Dr. Bennett, I threw the pads away. I don't need them anymore. You gave me my dignity back." But then he told me something that made me realize the true impact of what we were doing. He said his wife had noticed, not because he told her, but because he was different, more present, more confident, and their intimacy, which had disappeared over the past 3 years, had come back. We're like we were 20 years ago, he said with tears in his eyes. Then there's Marcus, 61. Marketing executive, high-stress job. He was taking 3 different medications for his prostate and still waking up 4 times a night. He was losing clients because he couldn't focus during meetings. His career was falling apart. But the real breaking point came during a client presentation. He was mid-pitch when the urgency hit. He excused himself, thinking he could make it quick. But he stood at the urinal for 3 minutes. Nothing. Walked back out, sat down, and within 5 minutes, the urgency was back. He had to excuse himself again. He lost the account. $300,000 deal, gone. And his boss pulled him aside and said, "Marcus, I don't know what's going on with you, but you need to figure it out." That's when he came to me, desperate, willing to try anything. I told him to try the protocol alongside his medications for 30 days. By day 90, he'd cut his medications in half with his doctor's approval. By 6 months, he was off everything, sleeping through the night, closing deals again. He sent me a bottle of wine with a note that said, "You saved my career and my marriage." Because what he didn't tell me initially was that his wife had been talking about separation. The stress, the mood swings, the lack of intimacy, it had pushed them to the edge. But when his health came back, everything else followed. And then there's Harold, 77 years old. This one still gets me. Harold had given up. He told me, "Doc, I'm old. This is just how it is now." He was using the bathroom 8 times a night. 8. He was sleeping maybe 3 hours total. His daughter had moved him into assisted living because she was worried he'd fall in the dark going to the bathroom. He felt like a burden, like his life was over. He told me, "I don't even know why I came here. Nothing's going to change." I looked at him and said, "Harold, what if you're wrong? What if your body still has fight left in it? What if we just haven't given it the right ammunition?" He agreed to try. Not because he believed it would work, but because he was too polite to say no. After 2 weeks, he was down to 4 times. After 30 days, twice. After 60 days, he slept through the entire night. His daughter called me crying. She said, "Dr. Bennett, I don't know what you did, but my dad is back. He's laughing again. He wants to move out of assisted living. He's talking about the future." When I saw Harold for his follow-up, he had tears in his eyes. He said, "I thought my life was over. You showed me it's not. You gave me hope." And that's what this is really about. It's not just about urination frequency or prostate size. It's about hope. It's about believing that your body isn't done, that you're not finished, that there's still life left to live fully. These aren't miracles. This is what happens when you give your body what it actually needs instead of just masking symptoms with pills. The healing capacity is already there. You just have to activate it. Now, before we finish, I need to say something important. This information is for educational purposes. It's not a substitute for medical advice. If you have severe symptoms, blood in your urine, or intense pain, see a doctor immediately. If you're on medication, don't stop without talking to your physician. But if you're tired of being told it's just your age, if you're exhausted from waking up every night, if you've lost that feeling of confidence and control, then listen to me very carefully. Your body hasn't given up on you. Your prostate can heal. You can sleep through the night again. You can urinate with a strong, complete stream. You can feel like yourself again. But it requires one thing: action. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, "This sounds too simple. If it really worked, wouldn't everyone know about it? Wouldn't my doctor have told me?" Let me answer that. Your doctor went to medical school. They learned about drugs and surgery. They learned about disease pathology. But nutritional intervention, most doctors get maybe 1 semester, if that. They're not hiding information from you. They simply weren't taught it, and the system doesn't reward them for teaching it. An appointment where they prescribe medication takes 10 minutes. An appointment where they explain nutritional protocols takes 45 minutes. Insurance pays them the same. So which one do you think happens more often? You are not a victim of a conspiracy. You're a victim of a system that's optimized for speed and pharmaceutical solutions, not for root cause healing. But once you understand that, you can step outside the system and take control. Here's exactly what I want you to do in the next 2 hours. Not 2 days, 2 hours. Step 1. Go to your kitchen right now. Check if you have kiwis, tomatoes, or pomegranate juice. If you do, great. You're starting tonight. If you don't, add them to a shopping list. Step 2. Go to the grocery store today. Not this weekend, today. Buy organic kiwis if possible. Buy canned tomato sauce or paste, the kind with no added sugar. Buy pure pomegranate juice, not pomegranate blend or cocktail. Read the label. If it has added sugar, put it back. Step 3. Tomorrow morning, start the 72-hour protocol. 2 kiwis with breakfast. Cooked tomatoes with lunch or dinner with a tablespoon of olive oil. Half a cup of pomegranate juice in the afternoon. Step 4. Keep a simple journal. Just 3 notes each day. How many times did you wake up? How was your urine flow? How do you feel overall? You need to track this because in 72 hours, you might not remember how bad it was before you started. And step 5, this is crucial. Commit to 30 days minimum. Because while you might feel improvements in 72 hours, the real transformation happens at the 30-day mark. That's when inflammation has dropped significantly. That's when your prostate has actually begun to shrink. That's when the healing becomes permanent. Now, I want to address something else. Some of you are watching this and thinking, I'll try it eventually. Eventually never comes. Eventually is where dreams go to die. Eventually is an excuse, not a plan. Your prostate is not going to heal itself while you wait. The inflammation is not going to magically disappear. Every night you wait is another night of disrupted sleep, another night of frustration, another night of feeling less like the man you know you are. And here's what nobody tells you. There's a point of no return. If you let prostate inflammation go unchecked for too long, the tissue changes become permanent. The damage becomes irreversible. Surgery becomes your only option. I don't say this to scare you. I say it because it's true. And because I've seen men wait too long. I've had to tell them, I'm sorry, but we're past the point where natural intervention can help. We need to operate. Don't be that person. Don't wait until you have no choice. You have a choice right now. Use it. Go to the store today. Buy kiwis, tomatoes, and pomegranate juice. Start the 72-hour protocol tonight. And 72 hours from now, pay attention. Notice how you feel. Notice if the urgency is less. Notice if you sleep a little longer. This information is for general knowledge and educational purposes only. It does not replace the evaluation of a qualified healthcare professional. If you have severe symptoms, blood in your urine, intense pain, or any concerns, see your doctor or urologist immediately. Real strength is saying, I'm going to take care of this body because it's the only one I have. Real strength is choosing to act when you still have options, not waiting until surgery is your only choice. You're not being dramatic by caring about your prostate health. You're not being weak by trying a natural protocol. You're being smart. You're being proactive. Because that's when you'll know this isn't theory. It's real. And it works. You deserve to live without constantly thinking about where the nearest bathroom is. You deserve to sleep peacefully next to your partner without disrupting their rest 5 times a night. You deserve to feel like a man, fully present, fully capable, fully alive. And it all starts with 3 simple foods and the decision to take your health into your own hands. Your prostate is waiting. Your body is ready. The only question is, are you?